Hey, welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Don, also known as Knitting Wolf.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us at wolffarms.net. Every month we have a scent of the month, and this month, month of February, is chocolate-covered cherries. So you can get 25% off the chocolate-covered cherry products that we have in our store. Plus, we have other great deals, so you can swing on by and check that out. As you can see, Dawn has got her engine revving. Started NASCAR. Woohoo!
Daytona 500.
Yeah, so this is going to be a quick podcast because the race is going on right now. So we have to hurry up and get back to watching. So, but
there was just a crash. So
yep. So
who was it? Harvick.
Harvick, Stewart, and a couple others.
Yeah.
Gordon's still running. So he was leading a bunch of laps at the beginning, but he's not.
Well,
so we got to see. We're missing. We got to, we should put the TV behind the camera, and we just you'd be watching us and like a fly on the wall, watching us watch our NASCAR. So that's what's happening. So hopefully, because you'll be watching this on Monday, hopefully you enjoyed Daytona 500, and then every other week for the next 9 months we'll have more racing.
So welcome to new viewers, and welcome to returning viewers. Welcome back and putting up with our antics.
We're in sync today. We'd make a good race team. Get on our tractors and run around Wolf Farms.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so let's get this show on the road.
Happenings.
Yeah, farm happenings. Well, I have been talking about planting the trees, and I got all the area that I was going to do, all ready for planting the new fruit trees because we'd gotten 14 new fruit trees, and so last week after the podcast, I had basically got it all ready. I trenched for the new piping to run to the trees. And this weekend was going to be the weekend I went out and dug the holes and put the trees in and got the water all hooked up.
You got to do piping.
Well, that too. Water hooked up. That's all part of. It's all ready to go. But unfortunately, the weather's not agreeing with us. It is like horribly dust storm type windy yesterday and today.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was blowing to the east, and now it's blowing all the sand back because it's blowing to the west. So it's like. And it's to the point where, I guess there's traffic issues and stuff because there's so much sand. It's
blowing sand.
Yeah. It's really,
we can't even
sand.
See the back half of our property.
Yeah. So
we can barely see the lake.
So it's not, I'm not in that big of a rush to go stand out in a dust storm to try and get my trees in the ground. So that'll be something for next weekend.
You don't want to sandblast your teeth?
No. Yeah, I'll be picking sand out of every crevice. I'm not showering if I'm out there. It gets pretty bad, and I feel bad. The animals all come up onto the porch trying to stay out of it and stuff. So they're protected, but for the most part, it was pretty windy, and we get those occasionally out here. It's always windy, but not. It's always windy, but not to the point where a dust storm. So it was pretty bad. So I didn't get nothing done on the farm that really farmy.
No, I've been recuperating from the last dental visit on that tooth, so...
Yeah. At least
that
you're feeling better.
That one's finally done, yeah.
Yeah, so now you don't have to go back... Well, you got to go back for a cleaning.
Yeah.
I got mine at the end of March, so I got to go do that.
Jimmy, I go Monday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So all sorts of good stuff happening. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, what?
Looking at the hair.
And got a new do. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I had to come home and paint my nails and my toes.
Yeah. So you're going
Ashley of the Spinner's World podcast kind of got me feeling guilty because I hadn't painted my nails.
Haven't done nails lately. It matches the inside of that bag.
Oh, yeah. Pinkalicious.
Yeah. Pink or green, huh?
So, yeah, Friday was just all about me.
Yeah. Yeah, you had fun. You were happy when you got home.
And, I had fun. So then I thought, I'm going to continue doing me.
Yeah.
Do my toes and my nails and Listened to a book. It wasn't a dirty vampire book. It was, because I know everybody's going to ask now. It's Harlan Corbin, and it's an audio book, and it's called, what did I just say it was? Hold Tight. It's kind of scary. It's about a 16-year-old and his friend committed suicide, and so his parents go and tap his computer and put a GPS on his phone, and then he goes missing, and he had just gotten an email that's, suspicious, and kind of gives you
not the kind of thing a mother who has a 15-year-old should be listening to. Jimmy's going to have an antenna put on his head, little.
Well, microchip him like a dog. Beep, 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 beep.
So, yeah, I'm sure Jimmy will have a little tracking.
But right now with Audible, they're having a buy one, get one free, but it's only their selected books. But each day until the 28th, they're having the. But I haven't found one that I've, gotta have that one. No.
So there's your Audible update, huh?
That's my Audible. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. It just started.
Just flew in there. I guess you have to kind of stick a new section. We'll have to come up with a new section for the Audible.
I used to have
your summer reading.
Summer reading. Yeah.
Now
that
it's
was right.
winter listening.
We're on a roll today.
Yeah, I tell you. And she said, this is going to be a quick podcast. I'm like, you know how that goes. We're going to get at least...
I don't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Me.
You just get her going and there you go.
Yeah.
So what's in your coop?
In my coop. Wow, let's go.
Yeah, the race is on. So I can't see it from where I'm sitting. So
this is the Color Affection. Trying to get it where it's not by Vera Velamaki, and this was a gift from Knit Pearl Girl, and I'm doing this out of Cascade Heritage sock yarn in orange, gray, and turquoise on size 6 circular needles, and then it is like bunched big time, and I'm on the 3rd striping where I'm added in the turquoise. So boy, that looks like donkeyed.
It's hard to show because you don't want it coming off the needle or whatever.
So I'm on, you can see where the dicky do is, and it's fun. It's not my colors. I'm like,
Well, you change it up a bit so you don't have all the same stuff color-wise.
That's true. You can't have everything concurrent. But yeah, it's getting there. I don't know how many of these turquoise stripes I'm supposed to have. So
guess you better check the pattern.
Nah, we just keep
you
going.
just keep going until you run out.
And that's in my mostly munchies, silver pumpkin.
With your pink nail polish liner in the inside.
It matches. Woo!
Okay.
Then in my Sadie bag, Sadie Chihuahua, is, and I just casted this on. Let's get a better picture. This is the Pomme de Pin, and Miss Manda of the Knit Psycho podcast is having this, and this is Amy Christoffers is the pattern designer. Did I say it's the Pomme de Pin?
Mm-hmm. Okay. You sure did. Can't separate between the voices in your head and the voices on the outside.
Well, did I go ahead and say it?
Yes, you did.
And this is done out of Knit Picks Galileo in the Gem colorway. G-E-M.
Gem.
Gem. Is there a sound difference on that?
It sounded like it said Jim.
Jim.
Jim?
Whatever. I never call you Jim.
Jam like the stone, huh?
Yeah, whatever.
your drawl, your Southern California drawl keeps getting in the way.
And this is done, I swatched. Well, I did a wee swatch because I did 3 different needle sizes. Because I went down because supposedly I'm a loose knitter, but that's a long story. And I'm not.
You're right on with almost every
love
designer's
patterns, yeah.
pattern. So,
But this one, I went up. Because I tried it with a 5, I tried it with the 6. On the 6, I was like 1 stitch off, so then I went to a 7, and then it was dead on, so whatever.
There you are.
It has a lot of ease, so I'm not too worried about, because I'm using the bigger needles. So I just casted lots of stitches. Amanda didn't tell me this. Jeez Louise. So, and then she also didn't, well, I know she did, but I wasn't listening. Knit 1, purl 1. Knit 1, purl 1. Forever. So, yeah, this will be going with me to Jimmy's dentist appointment, because I can quickly just throw it down.
Yeah.
So, hiya-hiyas.
Yay. Yay for hiya-hiyas.
Yeah, I had cast it on with the Knit Picks Harmony, and once I started knitting with it, it was breaking the yarn, and yeah, it just wasn't flowing. It wasn't a flowing knit.
Is that because of the pointiness of the needle, or is that because...
Yeah, they must just not have been enough point. But this, it just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So.
You like those. Is that it?
Yeah,
you just kind of stalled out.
I know. Huh?
Put on the brakes.
Yeah, it is. I'm still spinning
Spin
that
out turn 1
stuff. That yeah, pigeon roof. Was it pigeon roof? I don't even know what I'm spinning over there. It's that purple and yellow. It's going forever. I haven't really spun that much though.
No, yeah, I haven't found you hidden away at your.
No, I did a little bit
spinning wheel.
yesterday, but
Yeah, I remember.
yeah.
So what's in my coop?
What's in your coop?
I
That you said last week.
Oh, you know what? I
on
don't
the
even have my
podcast.
pattern, but
And I
that's
don't have
okay.
it pulled
That's
up.
okay. I'm knitting the camera that I was doing last week, the little toy, and so I didn't spend a whole lot of time with this week.
You didn't at all.
Well, yeah. I did a little bit this morning, but I didn't spend a lot of time on it, and so I have all these pieces that I'm going to end up and have to come stitch together, and you know, some of the, even I as a beginning knitter I'm adjusting the pattern because some of the stuff that's happening doesn't seem in my mind to make sense, but I guess when you piece it all together, you can tuck away all the stuff that doesn't otherwise.
Well, we will hide.
Yeah, because like this is supposed to be the lens. Now it might not be completely round because of my knitting, but the pattern is not symmetrical. A lens is supposed to be round and, you know, round like a Wolf Farm podcast button. Let me get my plug in there. Okay.
That's not a podcast button.
Well, I know, but I love Wolf Farm soap. Okay, so, but, you know, so, and Dawn's saying, well, maybe, you know, when you stitch all this up, you know, stitch, it's going to hide the excess. So, I guess that's what's supposed to happen, but in my head, because I'm a new knitter, I'm like, it seemed like it should be more round. I'm like, I would have kind of just done it in like a circular pattern, because then it looked like round.
Well, you had quite a bit this morning.
Yeah.
Until you had to have it ripped back.
I made a rookie error. I kind of... well, it's just like stockinette. So the whole thing is like stockinette. Well, I accidentally kind of did 2 rows of pearl, so my whole...
No, you did way more rows.
No. I did one.
Yeah.
I basically, it should be knit, pearl. I need, you know, alternating rows. Well, I did 2 rows of pearl, and then so that flipped the whole thing around, and I'm like, oh, great. That it's a design characteristic. I'll just wing it, you know. So, but yeah. So right now on my needles, I'm doing the body, the actual front part. So yeah, I actually had more than this on.
Way more, yeah.
But I had to back it up and start over again. So yeah, and you know, I get to it. I just didn't spend any time with it, so.
Well, I can tell when you are enjoying a project, you do.
Yeah, this is, I am getting a little frustrated just kind of reading through the pattern itself. It seemed a little hard to follow what they're trying to do, and the approach in my mind. See, this is the problem. My mind's battling what's actually written down. So I would design it differently. You know, if you know you have to make a circle, then I would just knit it in a circle instead of knit a piece like the. Let me find my lens part. This is supposed to be the lens body, and then it's got to come around, and then you have to stitch it up. Well, why not just knit it in a circle like a sock or something? So that's just my thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just me. Call me an ornery newbie. So I didn't get a whole lot more done. I did, actually, the body part wasn't done. This was done after the last podcast. So I added this, the lens, and all of that has been done this week. Remember, I only had these little pieces last week. So so I did do some more, but when I got to the lens, that kind of
that just took
the wind out of my sails, and so now it's outside blowing the dust all over the place. So, anyways, but yeah, so I will work on this, and then I actually have an idea for the stuffing. Because I'm assuming you're going to have to stuff it with something. I actually have some foam that's pretty rigid and perfect size. That's what I used to make Dawn's faux iPad packaging with. But it actually will fit perfectly for the camera. So it actually make it a little more rigid and not soft and squishy like a stuffed animal is. So I've got ideas about how to actually finish that up when I get to that point. It's just I got to get to that point. So, and it's not difficult knitting because it's just stocking it back and forth. It's just we get there. I'll get it wrapped up and put it on the back shelf here. It'll be my picking on the farm thingy.
I'm just listening.
A little babbling.
So, flown the coop.
No, that would be you because it's.
Yep. I flew a snuggle off the coop. And this is crocheted. Here's the dicky-do somewhere, right there. And so I did all of that.
Yeah.
There.
No, square. Unlike someone's.
It's yarn held double and on a J hook, I think. J or I or J. So, yep. So another one done.
Good job. One more happy animal.
Yep. So that's one thing that flew the coop. And then, was he pretty much done? No, I had all the legs and arms.
You still had to piece them together. And
so this is Voodoo You Love Me. I completely forgot by Susan Claudino. And his legs and arms are all done. I'm totally going to start in. So, yeah, he's a fun knit. These look really funny when you're knitting them, though.
Like it should be hanging from your back bumper.
Yeah. So, yep, he's cute. And I added a little, I didn't like how mine was coming out.
Oh, you were felting one.
And so I have this
silvery one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still not. There we go. Yeah, so that just kind of fit.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah, he's cute. Jimmy thinks he's creepy.
Yeah, maybe it's the X for the eye.
He says, he did. He says, like, ooh, that's creepy, Mom. So, that was my 2 flown the coops.
Cool. Good job.
Yay.
I got nothing that flew my coop. Unless you want to consider the individual pieces, but
Hey,
not
you're getting
yet.
desperate.
Yeah.
So, Farmer's Market, again, I want to mention Ear Dormants, etc., and that's Flancers, Jackie. And you got, one more week? One more week left to get 15%.
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
Barely half a week because it's a short month, so.
So 15% off in her shop, which with the code WolfFarm0213.
All right.
So
check that out.
Lots of cute little owls and kites. I'm just cracking myself up.
I see that.
So squeal like a pig, and I didn't even put it on my list.
Oops.
So I had it over here.
Yeah, I see that.
So Queen Ribbit sent me a hug in the mail this week with a cute little card. and an awesome message inside. And yeah, he goes, why do you have my Zuzu pedal over here? I'm like, it's not.
Well,
and I'm even holding it completely up. He's like, why is that over here?
I just saw color, and I'm like, okay, it looks...
So she sent me an... I should have gotten mine out, because I've done this pattern, and it's like, it's a quarter of this. It's not even this big. Which, this is, you know, a nice wraparound. But this is the traveling woman shawl. And I know she's like, oh... It's beautiful. I didn't check to see what yarn that is. But it does look like that.
Yeah,
chart.
color-wise, that's when it was folded up on the table.
Yeah.
I always thought I'm like, what do you do with the...
But it's so much bigger than mine. I like mine, because mine can barely fit around my neck, and this is just perfect, and doesn't really match with turquoise, but I mean... But, you know, you could wear it that way, or, you know, you can still do it, or I'm going to strangle myself. You know, or still, you know, like a...
Shawl cowl.
Thank you. But yeah, it's so pretty. And it's super soft and squishy. But yeah, it's a hug in the mail. Thank you. I love it. So yeah, it's so cool. But I was shocked when I'm like, I recognize the pattern, but I'm like, oh, that can't be a traveling woman. Well, because mine is like dinky. It came out tiny.
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Is there like different size ones in the pattern? So you just keep going?
I did it so long ago that I don't even remember. I know that it was a lot of people have a pain in the butt time with it because it's kind of written a little weird.
No.
I know I've been asked a couple times, you know, what did you do here? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Didn't keep your notes, huh?
Yeah, I did. I started to because I've been asked a couple different times, but
cool.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Very nice.
And then I got a pattern. Let's get rid of that one. From, I was gifted by the designer of this pattern. It's called the Lore Shawl. Lore. I'll show it to you first.
Sure. Yeah, it's you'll see it when she brings it up.
Uh-oh. I'm trying to make it bigger.
There you go.
That's really pretty. I wonder if that's like the Butter Peeps. This is, anyways, it's from Angeliamogera. She's a Mogera on Ravelry. Ooh. It is so pretty. I'm gonna sneeze.
You got the fiber flowing. Bless you.
Thank you. At least it didn't go. Oh, that just gave me a
head rush.
Brain. So, and she has a coupon code. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh.
As I didn't put it over here. Coupon code. You just use the pattern name LOIRE, and the code will get you $1 off the pattern. So, yep. Cool. So, and she's got the sweetest little dog. Yeah, English Springer Spaniel, and I had one growing up. I gotta show you. I gotta show off a dog. So sweet. Look at that sweet face. So, yep. So go. Our birthday's July 8th.
Oh my goodness.
I probably have already mentioned that to her before, but hey.
Hey.
Yay, we share a birthday.
True enough.
So, oh man, that really hurt.
You okay?
Yeah. Just, ooh, sinuses.
It's the wind.
Yeah.
That's really kicking everybody's allergies up.
Yeah. So, go get $1 off. It's gorgeous. I thought of what yarn I was going to use, and now I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what
I
you're
think it
telling
was
me.
a hand spun, but because that center spine of it is just so pretty. Let me show you the up close detail. Yeah, really pretty. So you can go get that pattern and get a whole $1 off. And I think she's doing something for Limnit Crochet for this too. for her fundraiser.
Oh.
My brain's
you
not.
take a drink
I sneezed too hard. It
Yeah.
just blocked out all the thoughts. Okay, and I just totally slurped. I'm just.
You're just getting all of us today, aren't
Yeah,
you?
now I just need to snort, huh?
You haven't done that yet?
No. And mentioning the, I'm skipping you.
Yes, you are.
I won't. Oh,
You can. Do you want to time out to get your brain back in?
Yeah, we'll do your old picking.
Okay. Well, guess for my picking on the farm, I wanted to.
Oh, wait. We're not there yet.
Put the brakes on.
Just real quick. Yeah, my dad this morning, James and my dad every Saturday go garage selling. And he always buys his 2 Shih Tzus. No, they're Lhasa Wapsu. Mm-hmm. Whatever, they're...
Little dogs.
They look like that. And so he had bought this little chicken.
Part of the thing we look for every weekend is 2 toys for the dogs, so that every weekend they come out when we get back and I'm dropping them off. They come out to the car and he's got to give them the 2 toys and they carry them off, and they got a mountain of toys because every weekend they get new toys. So he had picked up this as part of the toys, and
yeah, he brought it to me today instead.
Yeah, so the dogs didn't get that one.
I thought, how cute.
I didn't even see him pick that up, so that's funny. Get the chicken. One more chicken for the table, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Now to the
picking on the farm.
Okay, well, I wanted to continue my getting to know your camera, the things that I'm doing for picking on the farm. And I wanted to talk about the lens perspective. And so in cameras, you have, different types of lens. And mainly, I think nowadays, a majority of the people or cameras come with what we classify as zoom lenses. So they'll go from wide angle to telephoto. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that to kind of give you an understanding of, what happens there, things to consider when you're actually using that. And also for digital cameras, some cameras have what they can classify as optical zoom, and they have a digital zoom. And I wanted to kind of go into a little detail on that as well. So when you're actually looking for a camera or trying to understand what it does, what the difference between optical zoom and digital zoom is. So basically, there's in a lens will channel the light. It'll take what's out in front of the camera and direct that towards the either film or the digital image sensor. And basically, in the days of 35 millimeter film, a 50 millimeter lens it perceives things the same way that your eye does. So a 50 millimeter lens for 35 millimeter film is basically, you'll take a picture and it'll appear in the picture the way your eye sees it. Okay, so with digital cameras, the what we consider a standard lens, which would be 55 millimeter when you're dealing with 35 millimeter film, is a little different because it's based on the actual image size. So you can't really say, back when film was the only way that you were capturing, the picture, 50 was always the standard. But with digital cameras, depending on the size of the image sensor inside, that is basically will change what the lens settings are. So if you have right now a 35 millimeter, a digital camera like SLR type, I think 30 to 35 millimeters is now what's considered standard. So that would be like what your eye perceives. But each camera is different. So I can't really talk to a specific lens setting for what, your eye would normally perceive. But just kind of, there's a challenge there because each camera will do it a little differently depending on sensor size. But the reason why I point this out is when you go to more of a wide angle view optically, what happens is the objects that are closer to your camera will actually appear larger than the things off in the distance. So as you go wider, because the angle of view goes wider, the things that are farther off get really shrunk down in the background, and the things that are really close to your camera seem really large. So it kind of it skews the perspective and kind of exaggerates that difference. Telephoto actually shrinks down the space between things that are distant. So if you wanted to take a picture like you with the background of the mountain or something that's behind you, and you would use more of a telephoto setting on it, because then what it does is that the angle of view gets narrower, so you look and what's behind you kind of are shrunk down, what they call compresses space. And they do this oftentimes in movies and special effects when you see someone getting really close to the trains coming up. Well, they're actually quite a distance away, but they use a telephoto lens and it shrinks the space between the oncoming train and where they're at, because your eye is used to seeing this 50 millimeter view, the standard thing. When you compress that down, your mind reads that as being, oh, the object in the distance a lot closer, particularly when you're using a telephoto lens. So the reason why I'm mentioning these things is so that if you're trying to capture a particular thing in your mind, you can use the wide angle or the telephoto to either exaggerate some of the perspective difference or compress it to make things look a lot closer. When you're doing like portraits of people, let's go back. There's no rules in photography, so let me start off with that. So what I'm telling you is, if you want to do a portrait of someone and you want it to look like the professional portrait, this is kind of your standard portrait stuff, you never use wide angle, because what's going to happen is on a wide angle you're going to end up getting closer to the person, because the further away they are, they're really going to look small. So you get closer, and then all of a sudden it starts exaggerating everything on their face. Their nose will look twice as big as their ears, and you'll see actual photographers do this on purpose. So they'll exaggerate things because they're using super wide angle, and it makes them look all funny. And if you want to do that, that's how you do it.
That's like that one app that I have that.
Yeah, there's apps that'll kind of do that thing, but with lenses, when you're on wide angle, it will exaggerate. So you never want to do portraits that way. Generally, when you do portrait photography, you want to go more towards the telephoto side, because that actually will it'll kind of compress space, but it'll make things look more aesthetically pleasing. It'll be more balanced, and that sort of thing. So portrait photography. When you get into landscape photography, it's always like wide angle. You want to get the grand landscape and pick up everything as much as you can. The mountain range that runs for miles, and then you get close up to the foreground picture with the bushes. She knows my little how I tend to take pictures. And so you'll see the foreground, right there, but then you see the grand landscape behind it. That's wide angle. And so generally you don't use telephoto unless you're trying to focus in on something specific. So you can kind of play with the range that you have with your lens, but understand that the wide angle is going to make things that are closer to the camera seem much larger than distant things, and then the telephoto will compress things. Now, when we talk about on digital cameras, the optical zoom as opposed to digital zoom. Okay, optical zoom is what I've been describing now. Is basically it actually changes how the light's coming into the camera and the perspective that the camera is actually picking up. And
that has helped you doing this, because
I
am visual, and
Yeah, and I was going to do it on paper, but this is basically what a zoom lens will do. Is it actually as you change the thing, it's adjusting your angle of view, and so the wider you go, the wider picture it is, and the telephoto is more like that. So basically, objects that are here take up more space than the things that are far off in wide angle. But when they talk on digital cameras about optical zoom, 3 times optical zoom, 2 times digital zoom, What are they really talking about? Well, the optical zoom is actually where the lens, the optical design of the camera will change the way the light's picking up objects in the view, and so it actually will change the perspective. The difference between that and digital zoom, think of it as cropping, because that's all it's doing. It doesn't change the perspective, but basically it's like you take a picture and you crop it down, and then they just crop in the camera. That's what a digital zoom is. So basically it takes what's coming in, it doesn't change perspective, it just basically will crop down and then multiply the size of your file as if it was a normal file size. So there is some distortion and stuff like that when you actually are magnifying what's actually picked up in the camera. But that's the difference between optical and digital zoom. So your iPhone has a digital zoom. You cannot change the perspective of from the camera point of view, the optical. But it basically will crop things down as
I can zoom with my camera.
But it's a digital zoom. You don't change the perspective that the camera's seeing. It's just basically taking a section out of what's there, and then it just expands it out to be like what the standard.
And it blurs.
Yeah, because you're actually you're multiplying this little piece into a full-size picture, and so you get image loss, quality loss. So the ideal thing that you want is an optical zoom. That's because you're not losing
your camera.
Huh?
So use your camera.
Or you use your iPhone. Like I said, there's times when any camera is going to work. There's times when if you're looking for something specific, like I said, these are all just kind of guidelines. There's no rules. So if I tell you something and you don't agree with it, it's not a rule that they're going to go arrest you because now you're doing digital zoom and not optical. It's not like that. And one of the fun things about photography is breaking the rules. The standard thing. If you want a portrait that looks like a professional portrait, there's basically a formula that the professional portrait photographers do. Telephoto lens, the lighting, the way they have the lighting set up. You go in there, you sit down, they have everything set up, and they just click the button. That's how, they've got it all dialed in to make it look like a professional portrait. But then, but you can play with that, and you can go completely wide angle and get these really wild-looking portraits that are exaggerated, and they're fun to look at, or they're bizarre or weird, depending on what you're focusing on. And but like I said, so if I say something and you don't agree, that's fine. Go try and break the rules, and you might find something that you like. It's all about doing the stuff that is artistically pleasing to you. So if someone doesn't like it, that's their tough luck. If you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. And so
that's kind of like knitting too. I mean, we could knit the same thing and it's going to look different.
Yeah, but like
we
I said,
choose different colors. We add different little
exactly.
things.
You put in your own touch of things. But so, anyways, so that's kind of the sense behind the lenses and things that that you need to consider when you're actually going wide angle or whatever, and subject matter. The best way to like I said, see what happens is to trial and error. There's nothing wrong, especially with digital photography is great in that you can go and have fun and experiment all you want, and you don't have to keep paying for film processing. Yeah. In the old days, it's like, okay, you got to roll, and it's like, okay, I can't just spend 36 exposures because I'm going to have to go down and get it developed, and I don't know if it's going to come out. You get immediate feedback, and you can just play all you want, and if you don't like it, you just delete the file. Then start over again. So, there's a lot of advantages to the digital photography that you didn't have back when you were in film. So,
well, that, and then where you can turn it toward yourself.
Yeah.
Like the other day when Sadie she wanted to smell my hair when I got home from the hair. I mean, she was climbing up my shoulder, and I always have my phone in my,
It's connected.
It's connected. So, I just snapped pictures because she was like, she was bound and determined. And it was so funny because, I faced it towards me so I could see what was going on, and.
Yeah. So
I
photography's
had fun.
Yeah.
There we go again. What is that you used to say?
Jinx, you owe me a drink, or there's a whole lot of things.
Well,
when you,
no, I never said Jinx, you owe me a drink.
That's
but it's something like that.
something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and then so that's my picking on the farm part. And
Are
then
you going to do macro sometime?
I can do that, but that's more macro is not really the getting to know your camera. I think that's more of a
special.
Yeah, it's more of a subject oriented type talk. So I'm trying to cover the things that would affect that affect the camera, or if you're shopping for one or trying to figure out what.
Well, that's what
you're
you were
doing.
talking about today is really going to help when you are taking pictures of your knits to know what, whether you want to I know you've covered this before, whether you're focusing in on one thing.
And if I'm repeating myself, I apologize.
We're old.
But last week I did mention my to market. I had the filter set that I didn't have on the table, but I figured I would show it here.
You got to show the cute little.
Oh, it comes in a cute little pouch, and in the pouch has all sorts of goodies, and basically it has these rings here, and these go onto your lens, and they allow you to mount the filter holder. And this basically has channels in it that you can slide the optical filters. And I was mentioning that in landscape photography, oftentimes at sunrise, before the sun's actually up, or as it's starting to come up, that the lighting on the foreground and whatnot is oftentimes darker than the sky. And so when you're doing landscape photography at that time of day, it's hard to get a range of light between the sky and the ground that is capturable in one exposure. And so what they do is they have these what they call neutral density graduated filters. And basically what the neutral density is it's a filter that doesn't add any color. It doesn't change the color. It just darkens what's coming through that portion of the filter. And so they have these...
I see your fingerprints.
They have these filters, and this is basically the filter right there. And it's darkened on the top side, and it's completely clear on the bottom. And so what you do when you're doing your landscape is you actually set this up so that the darkened part darkens the sky while not affecting the foreground, and it actually compresses the exposure, and so you can actually get the sky and the ground exposed all at the same time in one shot. And they have different grades of how dark these go. And so you have, depending on what the sky is doing and the exposure, so you can go, different darknesses, or you can actually stack these all on the filter and go really dark, depending on what you've got going. Another thing that came with it is fully, these are full neutral density filters. And what this does is, if you want to do a long exposure, you see the pictures of the flowing rivers where everything's in motion? Those are long exposures. And oftentimes the lighting is a little brighter than where you can get a multiple second exposure on the flowing, the sea rolling onto the beach, or the waterfall and the stream and stuff. And so you use these to darken how much light's coming into the camera, so you can actually do a longer exposure. And long exposure will actually, when there's movement, will actually blur the movement. So you see, especially on long exposures of water and that sort of thing, you just kind of see that movement all blurred together. And that kind of is, for some is aesthetically pleasing. And I do that too, so I got my pictures. But this filter set has those type of filters in it, and basically it's to help me do more creative stuff when I'm out doing landscape photography. So that is my picking on the farm. So let me flick it back to you. And
oh, go on. Yeah, I thought you were done. You're just still.
Hopefully your sneeze is you've recuperated from your sneeze and get you back on track.
So in the arena, you said on track, and I was trying to think of something witty.
Is it witty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No, nothing
just
witty
on
came. So.
the track like racing track.
Yeah, that's what I was
we're rounding turn 4. We're coming into the to the finish line.
To the finish
Where's our
line.
checker flag? Oh, there it is on my shirt.
Yeah. Well, at least you got Coke.
Yeah, gotta have Coke.
Although
my driver's a Pepsi driver, but I can't help it if I like Diet Coke. So go ahead.
In the arena. Snuggles project. Yahoo! We got one more week, you guys. Less than a week.
Yep.
And this week, as of today's recording, we have big thank yous to Kathy G. She had quite a few in there. 4 Kitties Have I. Had some more in there. Just doing these cute little round ones. I haven't done any round ones. I think last year I did round. Suds, Susie23, Sundaisy 920, and hers are kitty approved.
Kitty approved.
Kitty
All
approved. Bright D, Queen Ribbit. She is just cranking these puppies. Did I say 25 or 24?
25.
25.
Yeah, she's
She
just
wants this bad. And this is the Volmisa. And Katie MC. She did one too. So,
good job, guys. Thanks for helping out and
So
like I said, we got
next
some
week
prizes.
we'll be doing the prizes.
Yeah,
So
got that, the
the
bag.
Volmice, the Wolf Farm gift certificate, the Elizabeth Quinton bag.
So I think you got till Wednesday. Is that the
I don't know.
28th, 25th, or is that Thursday?
I might just do it until we record.
Oh, well, it's up to you. So you might have a couple extra days,
Yeah.
but don't delay.
Yeah.
Try and get in. You never know. She may just
Clock that
close
sucker down.
that thread, and then you'll be.
And don't forget to enter into Sadie Yarnivore Podcast's group too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with your things, because she's got tons of prizes.
And if you're stalled out and looking for something to knit or crochet, you can still do these after February 28th, by the way. And the animals will appreciate it. So,
Yep.
yeah.
You should probably do another one.
I should
too.
probably do too. Make a camera, snuggle.
So then I also want to mention Knitting Brooklyn and TB McCarthy are doing the Remembering Remy preemie hats again from February 23rd. That was yesterday, right?
The 23rd would be Saturday.
Yeah, to May 29th. And their prizes are going to be in gold this year, symbolizing the pediatric cancer awareness. And so all the details are in the Knitting Brooklyn podcast group. And plus I've linked it last weekend. I'll link it this week. Also, Lauren Limnick Crochet is still doing the fundraiser for the Histiocytosis Association in memory of her best friend Josh. And so far, she has collected 1,207, which is 80% of her goal.
Yay.
Yay! So we
Almost
got
there.
a whole month left, and so we need to just blow this one out of the water. And she has gotten so many prizes donated, even since I listed off last time. And bird leg bags this week had some of Josh's artwork turned into fabric.
Wow.
2 of his things, which one of them is right here. She had this on a fabric, and then Josh's turtles on a fabric. And Vicky had made them into project bags, and they sold out. So, but she will be having more of them. I can't remember when. I think this coming week. So, and she's donating part of that to it. Also, Cyborg Creations, Cyborg Craft Room. She's so crafty and creative. Has the Without Borders yarn. And Lauren's also having the colorful cow knit along, which I still haven't casted on yet. I got so many. Yeah. I got so many. Oh, there's so many things I want to knit. So I'll have these linked again, and go support that. And
plenty of prizes to
Yeah. So
entice you to
awesome,
help support it.
A quote I had put on her thing was, "Truly great friends are hard to find, difficult to leave, and impossible to forget." And this is one way, that Josh will never be forgotten, and to honor him and to bring awareness to others so they don't have to lose their best friend or son or,
Yeah, it's...
So go on over there and show your support and let her know, and it's pretty awesome how quickly this is. Yeah.
Well, like I said, if even just the donations that go in make the difference in one person's life, then that's makes it all worthwhile. Yeah. And so, so I know that she's got a lot of prizes too, and I think she was looking to, if you can buy one of her patterns, because she's going to use that to help do the shipping, because she's got so many prizes that need to go out. And so if you could help support her through buying her patterns, that will help pay for the shipping, which just recently went up too, to get that out to all the prize winners. But, all in all, this is really, exciting to see all of the response, and, I have no doubt that she'll hit her goal. But like I said, if the donations and that sort of thing just make the difference in just one person's life, just imagine, that person was someone you knew. And then so this way, hopefully that
that's
really understand that just one person difference is the world of difference for that person. So just a little bit of giving that you can do to help that someone out makes it it makes it all worthwhile.
And it's not just a name. It's so easy. We're so desensitized through the media and everything by things that you throw Josh Talbot out there. This is someone who meant such a great deal to someone. Someone that she held his hand. She was there to support him, to give her love to him, and to write letters and send cards. And, this is someone really special. And this is a way to keep him living on. Yeah. Besides just in her memories and, so.
Okay. Well, good job for everybody that's
Thank
donated.
You so much who has supported.
If you haven't, then get to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it'll definitely help towards the research and stuff that needs to go into it, and that's the whole point. So. Yeah. All right.
So I think that's about all I have. Told you something quick.
Yeah, real quick. So, anyways, but want to wrap things up by reminding you that if you place an order at Wolf Farms, a paid order, you can request one of our podcast buttons for free. Just put that in the comment section when you're checking out. Also, got to get a little FaceTime for What Our Duck, because we have our What the Duck buttons. We have a couple other different buttons. I Love Wolf Farms soap button. I think this is only a penny. I think that's where I have it right now. So place an order, throw that in there, and then you can decorate your bag with it. But come check that out. We have lots of decorative items you can put on your bag. But the race is going on, so we need to wrap this up.
So until next time,
let's get cracking
and go racing, y'all. Bye, y'all.